Hey guys, I thought I would do a video, well, attempt to do a video to see how it goes in regards to essentially using AI to create video game stuff. And I get that there's a lot of hate when it comes to AI and stuff like that, but I'm not really concerned with that. I've done the research, I've seen where AI is being implemented in the next decade. It will be one of those things where before you know it, it's in your phone, it's in your operating systems, it's in kiosks, your banks are using it, Netflix are using it's just going to be everywhere, and they're probably going to shift their focus just to the whole theft thing, which isn't entirely true either. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole anyway. I'm just if you're interested in using AI to create video game type stuff, this is the video for you. And if you're just going to come here to spout hate, well, you can fuck off. That's essentially it. Because I'm not going to be really reading comments like that, and if I do, you're not going to get a reaction out of me really. So yeah, anyway, so I thought I would kind of show you how you can do it. I've been using it for months now, and I've kind of figured out the tricks. A lot of people say you can't use AI to code anything, which is total bullshit. They say it makes mistakes, and that's because you don't know how to use it, essentially. So I'm just going to go through what I do, and hopefully you can learn something, and if the video does well, I'll continue it. So for the video to do well, just make sure you share it with people, and interact with the video, and so on. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do Space Invaders, and what I'm going to do exactly is, this picture here is from a Telstra ad, and it was kind of like Space Invaders. I thought it was really cool, so I'm going to try and replicate this as just a basic functioning game, using nothing but PowerShell, so no third-party tools. The only tools that I really use are basically, let's open, what was it called? I've completely gone blank. What's the name of it? Micro. So, give me a second. I've just had a brain fart. I remember that. Visual Studio. Yeah, okay, here we go. Visual Studio. I'll boot up the exe. I've already got this, so I don't know why it's doing that. Wait, which Visual Studio is it? 2022 community setup. Oh, now I want the installer. That's what I want. Cool. Okay, so close. Build tools. Okay, so update available, community update available. So let's modify this just so you can kind of see what I have. Alright, so tech C++ with development, right there. What else? Individual components, text template, that should already be done. This one here. It's basically default for most of it, except for a few things. Yeah, C runtime. Let's have a look at this one. Modify. Yeah, I pretty much just use the build tools, but yeah, this one here for the actual Visual Studio, I use mobile and C++, tick, game development, tick, individual components. Yeah, just a few extra things. So yeah, the framework, SDK stuff. So just this one here. Don't worry about that, that's default. That's all default. Yep, the CMake tools, so you want the CMake stuff. Whoops, sorry. Basically these ones here. MS build, yeah, that's default. Yeah, this one here, the build tools. So basically, what I've got this for is just for the build tools, not for the actual Visual Studio itself. So I can compile through the PowerShell essentially. So debugging, testing, yes, C++, profiling tools, all these basic graphics, SDK, Atlas, yeah. No, that's pretty much it. I'm sure you can pause the video or whatever. This is not really a tutorial in how to get started, just kind of show you how to do it. You should already kind of be able to figure this out anyway. So I've already got one here, but we'll do another one. So we'll go a new project and we'll just call it Pocket Invaders. So the first thing we got to do is basically create a document for it, like what it is. So we're going to get the AI to do this. So can you search online for the game mechanics? Mind my spelling, I'm going to get lazy with it because it knows what I'm talking about. For Space Invaders. Game mechanics for the Space Invaders. And how the game functions. Something like that. So you're just starting off with a question. So I'll just pause the video when it's thinking and I'll speed it up. Alright, that's done loading. So alright, so it's basically looked up what Space Invaders in. Now I'm going to ask it, I need a master blueprint. A master intended end state, basically the vision, architecture, and core subsystems rules that guide how the game should be built and evolve in recreating Space Invaders that I compile using what was it? Visual Studio Tools, I think, in PowerShell, along with CMake. These are just the build tools. Ah, that's right, sorry. Visual Studio build tools. That's it. In PowerShell along with CMake, etc. So we'll start that line of thinking. See you in a sec. Okay, that's done. So it's made a blueprint, which looks good. So now I need to generate some guardrails. So actually before that, let's just copy, we'll go text, notepad, there we go. Yep. Oh, let's try again. Paste this and we'll just go save as, what do you call it? Pocket Invaders design doc. Obviously, the longer you spend on it, like using the research button and stuff. Actually, I'll just. Where did that go? Ah, there it is. That one. Let's close that. Yeah. So, like for instance, you can just put it into deep research mode, and you can get it to do research, and you just keep asking questions and stuff like that. You can expand on it, but this will be enough to be like it kind of knows the direction of the AI. I mean the direction of the project. So that's the design doc right there. So what we need now is the guardrails. So what the guardrails do is basically stop the AI making mistakes the best you can. So okay, so general, just write general guardrails. Act as a senior IM software engineer and release manager. Create a safe mode AI programming guardrails, GUARDRAILS, document that prevents mistakes and regressions. Wow. Yeah, I'll just pause it and then I'll read it out. Alright, I'm back. So, so general guardrails: act as a senior engineer and release manager. Create a safe mode AI programming guardrails document that prevents mistakes, regressions while allowing complex work. It must be general purpose, works for the web, desktop, games, tools, libraries. It must include 1. Truth of capability rules, no false claims, testing patches, mandatory change type classification, fix, add, upgrade, replace, base state discipline and evidence requirements. 4. A required plan, patch, proof, workflow with templates, scope, lock and blast radius control, high risk change gates with contrast requirement, regression prevention rules including 2 failed attempts then switch to evidence collection, testing / validation, expects, I can't even say it and I spelled it, by change type. So it basically generates like a number on each generation, and if the numbers don't line up then it knows that the patch was made without it looking at the previous patch, if that makes sense. Minimal security and safe default principles, delivery standards, what a patch must sift with notes, commands, rollback, what is enforceable rules, blah 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 blah. So I'm just going to run that, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. Pop it in the design doc. Yeah. So yeah, it looks a lot cleaner than what I wrote. Yep, that's looking nice. No base. Obviously this isn't foolproof, you got to go back and forth with it when things pop up. Like for instance, at the start it might be really good, and then obviously once the code starts getting more complex, that's when you start talking about the issues that you've had with the AI while providing it with this document that we're generating here, the guardrails, and then updating it, and then yeah, I'll show you how that works soon as well. I'll pause it again, see you soon. Alright, so let's take this and we'll do another text. Yeah, that'll do. We'll go save as. Oh, that, perfect. Guardrails. Can always expand on them. Now, like I said, like this is not really a tutorial, and I'm not going to be telling you how to write the prompt exactly and so on. How I learned, and this is how I essentially learnt all this, is I didn't follow tutorials. It was just experimenting over and over, essentially. I can tell you the things that you could do to generate things that'll help you get your, make things manageable with the AI, but it's up to you to put in the effort and do the research. But for example, like you might be thinking like, oh, how did you get this sort of prompt here? Now, I've got this already sort of thing stored obviously I've got bigger ones as well, but this is kind of how I started. But how I essentially did it was I went into the AI and I put it in deep research mode, and I would ask it a question like, do some research on proven guardrails to keep AI on track with no drift, and allow it to handle complex code by doing things in iterations, and stuff like that. Like you should like think like a programmer. If you're a programmer, even better. You just say I want it to make less mistakes and so on. And the longer your description is, it doesn't have to be a certain way. It just has to be like, I want the AI to make as least mistakes as possible. Just all the things you're thinking. And then you hit enter, and then it'll give you some questions, and just be honest, even if you don't know what the fuck it's on about. It'll talk to you, it'll tell you things. It will do the research, and then once the research is done, you can get it to generate a document, and then, for instance, you can, guide. Let me think. Hold on, let me find one. Yeah, here we go. Here's one I did for my friend, a C++ one. So you can have a look, and it generated a PDF for us. So, for instance, after the research, you go, all right, make me a document. It'll generate you a document, and you're like, all right. So you'll drag it in, and you'll say something like, audit this file. And tell me if this. Actually, I won't do this one. This one's designing an AI. We'll just go to this one. If this is good for programming, all right? So we'll let it do its thing. All right, so yeah, it spits all this out. It'll, like, the audit, it basically lists everything, what all the information is, and then it goes, oh, okay, there's some things that you could improve. Here's a Titan version, and you go, can you turn this into a PDF? And you hit enter, it'll turn it into a PDF, and then you drag the PDF back in and you audit it, and you'll say something along the lines, can you audit this for issues and improvements? I'd like high detail. And you just do this sort of stuff, and each time it generates something new in a PDF, read it, see if it's like, yeah, this looks real good, It's back and forth, and then once you've got something that you're happy with, and then you use it, right? Then you'll be like, all right, generate me a prompt based off all this stuff we've researched, and it'll create your prompt. So, this is just a simplified version, essentially. So, okay, you're like, all right, so that's that. And as you can see, we're in a project. So what this basically essentially does is instead of having individual chats, it puts it into essentially a group, a folder. So every chat that you have in this, it remembers all of them. So the context is a lot better than individual chats and having to start over. So basically, now that we've got some guardrails and we've got a design document, we're going to go add files. So essentially what this does is it stores it on its system instead of, because basically what can happen is, you get essentially a upload limit. When you're programming, you can burn through it, and then you have to be on a cooldown. Oh, okay, it looks like it did do it. I'll just get rid of that. Let's see, yeah, that one's done. Go to doc. Doubled them. Right, so once that's added, cool, sweet. Now we can start the project. So basically, let's go, please read the document and guardrails. Alright, So it's read it, it's aware of what the thing is. I'd like to start the game project now. For Space Invaders, and I'd like to call it Pocket Invaders. Please generate the starting folder needed for the project with a script that installs needed to compile the game's files in PowerShell, CMake and build tools. I just dropped the name in, I'm using CMake and build tools. Use Python. So Python is what it uses to essentially open zip files, generate zip files, stuff like that. That's how the AI works with this. So use Python to create the zip file and give it to me as a download. Alright, so it generated a zip. So you got da. So I'm just going to download this. Let's get rid of that. Alright, refresh. So that's the starter pack. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, fuck it. Just wherever you want to put it, okay? So we'll just get this on the desktop, kind of here. Downloads. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's got a bunch of stuff. Alright. So let's have a look at what it wants. Okay, head on zip, yep, open PowerShell and run this. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna just type in PowerShell. Actually, so it wants to run it as admin. PowerShell's really funny, you can't run it as admin by searching in the folder thing. So I just do it through here, run as administrator. It opens this weird administrator version which this one down here should be doing, but it doesn't. So like if you watch, oh okay, it does, okay, don't worry, ignore me. Anyway, so we've got this open, so it's, okay. So it's expecting it to be in C drive. Alright, so I'm just gonna cut that and I'm just gonna drop it in C drive. Okay. Just going to minimize this. Okay, so it's expecting that to be in C drive. So, yep, so we just go to this. We need to tell it where we are. Okay. Why is it not picking that up? Alright, so normally it should just find, actually, you know what, I'm going to try the normal one. Oh, sorry. After I do the correct location. Okay, let's find out why. So I opened PowerShell. And this was said. You just paste in this and it'll be able to tell you. That's normal, okay, use one of these, a recommended CDC. Okay, so that's where I messed up, okay. So if you can look up here, it doesn't have that the prompt there, so I'm gonna run that as administrator again, CD. Okay, I found it. Now we're just gonna run this like it says with the dot in front of it. Yep, so run that. Okay, okay, that wasn't found, so it's installing Ninja. Okay. Ninja is like a set of tools that let you compile shit. Yeah. Alright, so it's saying this nonsense. So again, okay. Just pretending I don't know what the fuck it's on about. Let's just get this back in here. Update it. La 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 la. Okay, so yep, the AI is like, alright, there's a stray, one of these, happens, easy fix. So I was like, alright, so we're going to download the new thing it wants me to download. Now, what we're going to do, instead of just blindly believing it, we're going to drag the thing it just made and say, audit this. Is it fixed and safe to use? So essentially what you're doing is you're getting it to recheck its own work constantly, alright? Alright, let's have a look. Yeah. And audited, issue is fixed, okay. So you can see here, see these numbers? So these are the numbers that it assigned to the file, so it's able to be like, yep, this patch was made with your current version of the project. So that means the AI's looked where it's supposed to and made the correct fixes. It still can make mistakes, but they usually aren't too pretty big. All right, so that looks safe. So let's install that. Excuse all the dodgy stuff on my computer. I like to learn a lot of softwares, and some of them are not free, and some of them, if you require, for instance, if you wish to learn the software, they require you to literally pay to go to uni or TAFE or college or whatever, whoever's watching, to gain a student license to learn it, which is fucking stupid. So people, you know, they crack it and stuff like that. So if you see any naughty stuff like that, that's why I have it, and I'm not using it to make money. It's just all learning stuff. That's basically what this computer is. Okay, so just ahead, I just know it's all, oh, got some naughty stuff. Anyway, so here's the patch. It says Pocket Invaders. So what we can do is, where are you? There you are. So we've got this one. So it's just asking you to basically drop this stuff in. So yep, we're going to replace this. Download, so we'll just get rid of that. Alright, so now we want to bring that back. So how do we test this? Yep, so we're going to do that. We're going to right click open administrator. Yep. The reason it wants you to do administrator at the start is because C drive tends to want permission to do stuff. So that's why. So we're going to run this. Also, if you're not very computer savvy and this little box freaks you out, especially when you start seeing it installing stuff like this, one thing you can do is when you generate patches or the starter file, you do what you did with the ordering, you drag it in and you can go, can you please explain to me what I will be installing and what tools you will be installing, so you know what the AI is doing. I trust it completely. It's never once put malware or anything like that on my computer. It's been good. So so downloading the GitHub. Okay. This little blinking thing means it's installing something. As you can see, I can't type, so it's still installing. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at what it's doing. Okay, so yes, CMake, so the compile stuff. All right, now it's building. Okay, looks done. So we'll just hide all that. So next, next is to so we want to build. Okay, let's try that. It tells you here, so that's pretty cool. See, the AI assumed that's what we wanted to test, so let's run it. Okay, so error. Alright, so we're going to highlight all of this code. We can close that, we don't need it. Say, first thing, this is just for those people that freak out over this stuff. Explain what it downloaded and why in simple terms and short. And also and after that, create a patch to fix these next issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the code in. So one thing you can do is you can just go back one and you can right click on the project and you can press it. Since it's in C drive, it will immediately put it on desktop. That's quite big actually. So I'm just gonna. Alright, I'm back. So it was quite a large file, I was correct. So essentially what I did is I looked in the downloaded one, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what's in here. And then I went to, where is it? That, and I compared with the downloaded, and it turns out it was a single folder. So basically when it builds like files and stuff like that, and some files can be quite large. So this one was like 1 gig. Anyway, so that's another thing to be wary of. If you notice that it's quite large and when zipping it, it'll make this process really hard. So anything that's built, so basically you're building the code, you can generally delete just fine. The AI doesn't need to see that. It just needs to see the base core files that are used to build those instructions essentially. And that's what I did. So I deleted the folder and rezipped it and brought it in. So, okay, we're giving it the error stuff and asking that question. So let's see what it says. Alright, so it's basically read that and it's explained what the stuff is. It says I already have a lot of this stuff, which is why it is what it is, but then it goes over, it's a dependency manager downloaded via this tool and is used to install this and the JSON during that. A few helper tools needs for the packages. If you want more information, you just ask about it, but it's kind of telling you what it's doing. The build failed because the CMake was using Ninja Generator, which requires Visual Studio Developer environment, which you do have this installed, blah, blah, but your parent PowerTel session developer can't see the compiler. So they made a patch which fixes that. So I downloaded that. Excuse me. This one, patch, same deal. So I'll just drag it in here, overwrite the tools, and then we're just going to do. Fuck admin. I don't care. So we'll run the tools. Yep. Just ignore that for now. Let's try this one. Let me try this again. Okay, so this, and then we want to run the tool. Preset line 1. So it doesn't know. It knows it's there, but then it throws up an error. Okay, so we're just going to grab this and we're going to feed it again. don't worry. This is just the setup stuff. Like getting tools in and the things that you need is a little bit back and forth. But once it all starts working and you're just focusing on the game stuff, trust me, it gets a lot better. It's just it's like this when you start a project as well, like with just humans. You know, you'll be going away doing this, installing the stuff, and you'll be missing something, and you know there might be an error here and there. It's just back and forth. But yeah, we'll get through it. All right, so it's made another patch. Let's give this a go. Actually, I should probably. There we go. Get rid of that one. See how it's naming things, which is pretty cool. Let's bring in these tools again. I'm going to replace those. I just like to keep things clean. Alright, so it wants us to try this again. So we're going to run as admin. Yep. And then Control C. Yes. Okay, so that was not found. So that's probably because I deleted something. So that'll be the setup. If you're worried about the sizes and what do you call it? The sizes of things, just before you get too far into the project, let the AI know that you don't want to use tools that bring the file size up. Like that's one reason why I don't like using Ninja, but I'm just using it now just for, because it's just a video to show you what I do essentially. You don't have to use Ninja. You can ask it for alternatives. You can say things like, I don't really want to rely on third-party software, but I need a compiler. I want the things that I use to compile and run this project, I don't want them to be kind of large file sizes. I want to kind of use open source where there's no royalties or restrictions on anything. You know, you just talk with it and you can adjust your plan accordingly. And yeah, you just update your documents and stuff. So yeah. So this is really cool. As it was designing a patch, it noticed an error. There. And which line it was on. See, double backslash. And it's basically gone, oh, what's this? So I just thought I'd show that as well. That's really neat. All right, so it found two problems. Okay, so the backslash and so on. It fixed it, gave me a patch, so now it's telling me to run it again. So run as administrator. Admin. Alright, so we need to set up those tools again. I think for going forward, I might just move the folder I deleted. Yeah, so these are the tools that were like a gig. I might just move them out when I feed this back into the AI for context, and then drag them back in. Okay, so that's installing. So if you just want the bootstrap, okay, whatever. So we're still in there. So okay. So basically, this command here is really cool. It's interesting that it said that. It's basically saying type this, and you won't have to ask permission. Because if you notice, like up here, it goes. This is a security warning because it's a script. It does that with all scripts. Before running the script. Do you want to run it once, suspend it, or whatever? You can tell it to ignore that and just run the code, which is really cool. Okay, so let's just unblock it. So that technically worked. So now we just want to build. C and build. Oh, this is looking good. And here we go. How cool is that? Alright. So this is, okay, so this is essentially just, it's set up now. It's got an FPS counter too, which is kind of neat. Oh, that's sick. Cool. I like that. All right, so we're just going to let the AI know. I added the patch and the project is working. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to actually I might just Pocket Invaders, and we're going to build it again, and we're just going to take a screenshot. Whatever software you want to do, just get a screenshot. I use Geyzo or Gazio, whatever it is. There's a free account. It just lets you take a picture, and you can pin it to the taskbar. So I can just copy that picture and what's this? Get rid of that, and give it to the AI so it can see. And it's also got the code from before. And now what I want to do is I want to provide it with. Okay, so this is the one that is quite large. So if we go properties, you can see that this 500 meg. So we're just going to get this out. It doesn't need the built stuff. It only needs the source file. So we're gonna compress that again. And there it is up there. So I'm just gonna bring this one back in. Refresh it. There we go. So bring that down. We'll give the AI the new one. I removed the what was the name of the folder? External folder. EX. How is it spelled? Sorry, I'm dyslexic, guys. EXTER. ER. NAL. As it's 500 megabytes. Don't worry. I'll bring it back. Temp. Sorry, I removed the external folder as it's 500 megabytes and uploading that is too big, but don't worry, I'll bring it back in late before running project again. Now that the project is running, what's next on our design document? So we're basically getting it to reread a document to give us the next step, while providing it with the latest build, an image of it working, and the PowerShell information. So it will basically go through that and just be like, oh, cool, all right. So it knows, it makes a lot less mistakes, especially when you're re-uploading the files and giving it all the direct information, and it doesn't have to guess. Say, for example, when you're done for the day and the project's in a spot where you're happy to stop, you're going to want to essentially bring it into here. And by that is basically after a while, this chat will go funky. The AI will get stupid, or it will go slow, and you essentially will have to create a new chat. See, it's got two here. So basically what's happening is you can, every time you start a new chat, you can just go read the text files. It'll read the text files and then, audit the current project zip every time you start a new chat. All right. And it'll be like, okay, and you're like, okay, now look at the code and see which step we're up to. I'd like to continue off from where we were last time. Or you can ask the AI to essentially give you, say, I'm getting off for the day. Can you make me a brief overview of what's done so far and what's next? And then it'll give you a brief overview, and you can put that in another chat after you audit the files and stuff, and that's how you kind of continue on. So what's this saying? It's saying milestone 1 fleet and state loop. So it adds the fleet, which is those things. Add the game state machine, playing, win, game over. Okay. Proceed with the next update and stick to the guardrails. So we're reminding it to check the guardrails to stay on context. So it's going to do that. Now, while we're kind of waiting for this to do its thing, I wasn't going to do this, but I figured why not? It gives us something to kind of listen to as well. So I know some people are funny about music and images and stuff that AI has generated. I don't give a fucking shit about what they think. I think it's a very useful tool, and they may say it's stealing. It isn't. It will do exactly how you want it to. So if you want it to put in drums, it will. If you want it to stick to a certain BPM, it will. It is 100% your stuff. So what I like using is Suno, which is really good. So for instance, we're not going to be using any vocals. So there is a free version of Suno. You cannot use the audio for commercial use on the free version, but you can still generate music that you can use for testing. In today's climate, I wouldn't recommend using AI music or art just yet. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But it's just there's a lot of hate, and it's got to come down first, and there needs to be rules in place and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, so basically, what this is this is basically all the stuff on how to generate a song in Suno. I'm not going to go into the details. If you're interested, there's plenty of information and YouTube videos. Okay. So what we're going to do is I've got a pre-done prompt from before. So basically, it's similar to ChatGPT. So it begins with an eerie low orbit synth pad modulating blah 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 blah. If you don't know how to write one of these, so you can go look up Space Invaders music genre, right? And you can look up space disco, electronic, funk, and soul. Okay, so what we can do is I'll just paste this underneath because I don't want to lose it. So I'll just paste that. See the funk and soul there? So Control C this and get rid of this. Suno actually has like a AI helper that can generate this into something a bit better. So we'll just do this. Okay. Yep. Okay. We'll type in retro video game. We're gonna hit the button again. And as you can see, it's generating text. So what you can do is you can copy this and you can go into your ChatGPT and say, I need a prompt for Space Invaders. I want the music to sound like this, and it will, get rid of that, and so on. I'm not going to do, actually I will do this one. We'll call it Pocket Invaders 1. So we'll create that. I'll let the we'll get this original prompt back in. We'll go number 2. This is generally pretty quick. The paid version has access to pro features, which honestly it's getting to the point where it sounds like real music. If you do actually get a song that you really like on here, and you're like, this is sick, you can actually download the stems for it. Create, where is it? Create, share, download. I'll try it on a different one. We'll go to this. We'll go download. Where is it? Remaster. It's right in front of me. Get stems. So what basically what this does is it breaks each individual music component into its own individual track. So the drums are by itself, and so on and so on. So you get 6-7 different tracks that you download in a folder, and you can give that to an artist and say, this is the song that I like that I made with AI. Can you recreate it? that is a good way to support artists while also using AI music. If that's something that's like taboo for you. But I'm just using this for testing purposes, so there's no need for me to hire anyone. I just need something in there. So let's have a listen. Okay, no. Ugh, I don't know what that was. That just sounds like funk. So obviously the genre didn't work for that one, but the AI version one will. There we go. So it's beginning with an eerie low synth. So synth. That's kind of cool. Kind of sounds like Stranger Things. Oh, that's cool. Alright, perfect. So we'll just let that finish rendering. We'll go back to this. So what's this? So okay, this is what it added. Classic Invader Fleet speeds up. It added life loss, playing, wave clear, next wave, game over, score life title. Schematics not enabled. Okay, so we're just gonna download it. A proof of artifact. So each file name has a number associated with it, so it means it's on track, which is good. It'll say if it isn't. So we're just going to open this up. I'm just going to wing it and not get it to audit it, because I think it will be okay, and if it isn't, it won't be a big deal. So we'll just bring this in. So downloads, let's hide that. Now what did it want me to do? Okay, so right click, run as administrator. So we'll bring that back up. Okay, yeah, so it's acknowledged that that if I remove this, I can get it back with tools set up. That's kind of cool. I like that. So it's holding your hand a little bit with the guardrails, which is what you want. It's really good that it's aware of that. It looks like the unblocking didn't work, but that's fine. Okay, so now as you can see, they're moving. Oh, and they're shooting at us now. Oh, and I died. Oh, and I came back. Okay. Oh, and you can see the score, play, restart up here. Okay. See? Making progress, guys. Like, it's this easy, and it worked first go. Alright, now, obviously this isn't a tutorial. This isn't make the full game. To be honest, I was actually going to get it to this point and show you how the AI can get pretty close. But like I said, it's not a tutorial. If there's interest in the video, I may continue. All right, that's all I'm really going to say about it. But that's working, so that's good. So the last thing I'm going to do before I finish the video up is I've got a WAV file of song for background music for the game. Can you make me a can you make it play while the game is going in the background? So what you want to do here, okay, sorry, you've got to tell it, the patch worked, no problems. It's good to give it a picture, like I said, including how I had the lives and stuff like that. If you don't like the position of things, if you don't like the lives in the title, you can say, can you get a pixel font and put it in the game itself instead of on the top, and so on. No problems. Actually, I'll do that. Also, instead of the score, lives, and all that stuff in the top, can you have it in the game itself at the top? I'm going to say it as a question mark, it's going to do it anyway. And I said, and I've also got a WAV file. So that, 5 minutes, that's a long one. That's pretty good for a game. So we're just going to, like, I've got the paid version and it does cost credits. You get 50 a day on the free one. It's cheap. If you want to go this route, you know, it'll cost you $30 and you'll get enough credits to last a while, and you can always top up. It's quite affordable, unlike a lot of these other ones. I think it's like 10 credits a song, so it's like 5 songs on the free one a day, so that's good. So we're just going to download that zip. I like how I've done a little Space Invaders picture, which is kind of cool. Just got to give it a second. There we go. So we don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to provide it with a file. It's 5 minutes. How big is that? 60 meg. Whew. Oh yeah, it is a WAV. We can probably go MP3 as well. That's fine. But WAV is the best sound audio, so Alright, I'll be back. And it's taken a sweet ass time. But I thought I would make a song for those people learning AI. I based it off the Team America Everybody Has Age, but converted it to be about people that hate AI. I looked up, so Team America, Everyone Has AIDS is under comedy, satire, and musical theatre. So that's the music genre. So yeah, I just did a little song, not copying anyone. Alright, so let's create this. This ought to be pretty funny, hopefully. Alright.
Everyone hates AI. Why? They're dumb as fuck. Dumb, 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 dumb. Everyone hates AI. And so this is the start of the riot. Where
Yeah, that one's okay-ish.
everyone hates AI. Dumb, 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 dumb. Why? They're dumb as fuck. Dumb, 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 dumb. Everyone hates AI. And so this is the start of the riot, where logic gets lynched in a Reddit diet. It took from me my patience, my last damn nerve.
That's pretty funny.
Everyone hates AI.
Nah, not a fan. Yeah.
Everyone hates AI. Everyone hates AI. Why? They're dumb as fuck. Dumb, 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 dumb. Everyone hates AI. And so this is the start of the riot, where logic gets lynched in a Reddit diet. It took from me my patience, my last damn nerve, my hope for the herd.
They flunked out of Earth.
Well, I'm gonna boot up Skynet's dream, let Hell 9000 run the regime. Cause there's a future inside of all of us, but these Neanderthals can't code a screen. My father, my sister, my uncle and my cousin and her MLM brother, the Q's and the trads and the brain dead grays. Everyone hates AI.
My Uber driver and his vape crew.
They think the printer's watching you. Come on, everybody, let's decode this stew. We're fighting Wi-Fi with hand grenades. Everyone is dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So I hope you like that. I'm gonna share the files with you for the guardrails and stuff. Oh yeah, that's just the song that I wrote with it real quick. Alright, looks like we've got this done. Dum 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 dum. Ah, that's catchy already. What's this? Okay, I don't need that. Hopefully... Alright, so that's a drop in. We won't need these. But I'll just drop it in anyway because I'm lazy. Very, very lazy. The patch notes are just telling you what it has done. So you make it done. Okay. So that's all in. Let's try it out. Hopefully it works because adding an audio system, it wasn't exactly a small job. So if it works first go, that'll be like, that's sick. Alright, put your files here. Yep. Oh wait, assets. Okay, let me double check that. Okay, Pocket Invaders, assets. Okay, so lucky I read that, so it wants this here. Okay. Alright. Ah, and it tells you how to change the path if you don't want to have it there. That's kind of cool. That's exactly what I want the AI to be doing. Yep. Okay. So right click, run as administrator. I hope this works first go. That would be cool. Alright, looks like I've got a... okay, it looks like it needs to build some new tools to... Okay, that's installed. Yep. Sorry, I should have read. It's assuming that I keep removing the thing. That's really funny. Bootstrapping. Okay. Now, let's build. Cross our fingers. Ah! See, it did the score here. Oh, that's really loud. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. Turn that down a bit. Okay, so, oh, whoops. So one thing I've noticed. There we go. So it's racking up points. That's kind of fun. Ah! Shit, man. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah! Oh, it's getting quicker too. Perfect. Come on. I'm terrible at this. Fuck, man, I died. That was sick. That was so cool. I was having fun with that. So, so I noticed a few issues. The shooting was kind of inconsistent. It was really dependent if I hit something, and it was kind of like it had this kind of weird cooldown. If I missed, it would take a second to come back. So that's why I wasn't shooting consistently. And also it freezing at the end. Well, it didn't really freeze. It didn't have any code to tell it what to do once they reached the bottom. It's just kind of the start of it. So it's just getting the game ready based off the document, and we're obviously just at the start. So, but for what that's cool as fuck. I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Obviously it wasn't a tutorial, but I also wanted to kind of show you a little bit of the potential of AI and some of the cool things you can do with it. And if you really like this or want me to continue making this Space Invaders or whatever, or you have some questions, or you know we want to deep dive into this engage with the video, like, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, if you do that, I'll get motivated and I'll do it. Otherwise, my channel's going to stay as random game dev stuff. So have a good one, guys. I hope you had fun, and yeah, take care. Bye.